What's up, everybody? If you didn't know, I also like to cook from time to time. Now, today I'm in the kitchen gonna make up one of my favorite dishes of all time, from the time I was a kid till the time I was an adult, which is homemade chicken and dumplings. This isn't the kind you get at some diners or restaurants where they got ripped up chicken and peas and carrots and it looks like somebody took a chicken pot pie and smashed it all up and put some flat noodles on it. This is legitimate chicken and dumplings, like old school style. Check it out. Alright, so I'm ready to start cooking here. Got all my ingredients here. And this recipe originally comes from a cookbook that's over 100 years old called Fanny Farmer's Cookbook. It originated in the late 1800s, and pretty much everyone's grandmother, mother, great-grandmother maybe had this cookbook. I know my mother did, or at least she had the excerpt from it on how to make chicken and dumplings from it, and it is one of the best recipes and dishes I've ever had. I do it up a little bit differently. In the original recipe, they do suggest that you boil the chicken and break it up, but it's still whole carrot pieces, whole celery, you know, the dumplings that actually look like dumplings with biscuit mix or biscuit. I like meat on the bone, so what I do is I like to take the drumsticks or thighs. Today I'm using drumsticks, and I like to braise them first before I actually put liquid on it and complete the rest of the process. So what I got is I got a pot here. It's one of the original old pots from back in the day. This was my mom's cooking pot, one of them. But I just have enough canola oil. You could use vegetable oil. Sometimes I've used olive oil. I just got enough to cover the bottom of the pot. And what I want to do, I got some flour with just some salt and pepper thrown in there, and mix it around with a fork. And you want to get on the heat, put it on medium high, start getting the oil a little bit hot, and get your chicken, put your chicken down there in the flour. Just get a little light coating of flour on it, shake it off a little bit, and into the pot it goes. I'll be doing this in 2 batches, the braising part. It's all going to finish off in the same pot at one time. So I'll get through this little process and then come back to it in a bit. Alright, got some of my chicken in. In fact, I almost put all 10 pieces in there, but I don't want to crowd the pot. What you want to do here is just get the chicken going. And just get it a little brown. Just get a little color on it. Move them around a little bit so they get it on all sides. I got horrible lighting in here. Now, once I'm done this, I got 2 other pieces of chicken to brown after this. I'm going to drain off this oil because I don't want a bunch of grease. And I use a little bit too much oil for this process. But it's okay. It's still going to serve its purpose, and if you drain off the oil, it'll be fine. So when you add your liquid, it won't have big globs of grease bubbling up to the top. Alrighty, well now I got my chicken on nice and braised. A little bit of color on them, brown. A little brown color tone. Now what I want to do is start. I'll just add the chicken back into the pot. Oh man, this is gonna be good. I absolutely love this stuff. And it makes me think of Mom, whose birthday's coming up in 4 days, although she's passed on. So I will have this in memory of her. Now what do you want to do once you got your chicken back in the pot is cover it basically with water. Okay, so I got about 8 cups hot water I want to put in. I want to turn my heat back on to high because you want to get it to a boil, and then turn it down to simmer. And you want to start adding your other ingredients. What I have here is some onions sliced. I prefer them sliced. You can chop them. The original recipe says chopped, but I like sliced. So get my onions into the bowl, and celery cut fairly thick but not crazy thick. That's 2 stalks, just cut up there. 2 stalks of celery, put that in. Got about a half a bag of baby carrots. I guess they're a 1 pound bag, so it's probably about a half pound, maybe a little bit more than a half a pound that is. Just get them in there. Oh, I don't have a spoon. I need something to move stuff around with in here. Get a spoon here and stir it around. And you want to add your spices. A half teaspoon of rosemary, I got a teaspoon and a half of thyme. Thyme's just one of those things in this dish too that you need. Kind of like parsley in the dumplings. If you don't put parsley in the dumplings, it's just wrong and doesn't taste right. I got 2 teaspoons of salt, half teaspoon of fresh cracked pepper, and I like to use, I got 2 bouillon cubes, chicken bouillon cubes, just to add to the flavor. When it starts simmering, it'll melt down and get in. Just stir it up so all your stuff's mixed around. And just want to get it to a boil and come back to it when it gets that far. Alright, once your stuff comes to a boil, all your ingredients and your water, you want to turn it down to about probably medium high, or even somewhere between medium and low. And you want to let it simmer for about 20 minutes like this with the top off. And while you're doing that, you want to prepare your dumplings. Now you want to take 2 cups of Bisquik, or what I'm using here is Ginger Evans biscuit and baking mix, which came from Save-A-Lot, because saving that money is a good thing. Also, Bottom Dollar Food has their own brand of biscuit mix, and that'll work just fine. So I got 2 cups of this in here, and to that I want to add 2/3 of a cup of milk. Okay, so I want to add my 2/3 cups of milk, and can't forget this. This is key, I think, to good dumplings. 2 teaspoons of dried parsley, and you just want to mix it up. And since I'm doing this one-handed here, I'll turn off the camera and come back when I'm done. Alright, I got my dumpling mix mixed up here. Add a little bit more milk. You don't want it, seemed a little bit not dry, but it's, you want it, because when you drop them in, you want it to kind of run off the spoon, kind of, but you don't want it like real super runny. You just want to get a nice consistency so you can scoop up it, and when you drop the thing in, it'll run off the spoon fairly easy. like that. So you don't really got to push it off with your finger or something else or another spoon. Got about 4 minutes left on that, and then it'll be ready to put the dumplings in. Okay, so it's been 20 minutes now, simmering. So now I'm going to take my spoon and get some dumpling mix on it. And you want to spread them out. In the pot. Just drop it down in there. Actually, probably should have had a little less water, because you kind of want them to be sitting on top of the meat, because they're not going to float right away. So if you have some of the meat and the vegetables kind of uncovered, the dumplings have something to sit on top of, but it'll still turn out just fine. Just keep on adding these to the pot. As so. After you get all your dumplings into the pot, you want to put a cover on it and leave it simmer for about another 15 to 20 minutes, and do not remove the cover while you're doing this, or else it'll mess up your dumplings. Just leave it on, set a timer, trust it. When time's up and you take the cover off, you'll have nicely formed dumplings, and it'll be ready to plate and eat. Okay, now 15 to 20 minutes later, let's take the cover off of our pot, and then we got our dumplings. And now it's time for plating. And there's the final product, my homemade chicken and dumplings. Thanks for watching. I'll have a copy of the recipe down in the description below. See ya.